Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III here with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. Hope you're off to a great Tuesday morning. I want to talk to you today. I'm super excited about a brand new ebook that my partner Robert Stuberg has that's come out, and I want to share some of those thoughts with you today. It's called The Truth About Success and Failure. But before we do, let me go ahead and go through the Daily Mastermind Quote of the Day. We've got the Quote of the Day in the mobile app, and it's by Wayne Gretzky. You miss 100% of the shots you never take. You miss 100% of the shots you never take. That is such a great perspective. A lot of us fear failure. We fear rejection. We fear just not being good enough for things. But the bottom line is, if you never put yourself out there and you're not in the game, you're going to miss 100% of the shots anyway. So get out and get in the game of life. So today, now, last week I talked to you a little bit about this ebook by Robert, but the brand new cover, the new edition, everything is out, and you can get it on Stuberg.com. That's Stuberg.com. It's free. There's no sales. You don't have to pay for anything. You can get this ebook and download it today. But it's called The Truth About Success and Failure, and I personally have a lot of excitement for this because I can relate quite a bit to the topics that are covered in this ebook. And just to give you kind of a highlight, there are several chapters in it, and it talks about things like the pursuit of success, success versus happiness, when failure leads to happiness, and a story about success and failure. But today, what I want to do is I want to highlight a particular topic, one of the chapters, sections of the ebook, and it's the topic of success versus happiness. Now, this whole chapter kind of begins with a statement that I personally have felt a lot of association with. I can really relate to it, and many of you may as well. So I want you to listen to this statement and determine if you can sort of relate or internalize this, believe this statement as well in your own life. He starts by saying, I had to learn the hard way that success does not lead to happiness. It never has, and it never will. I'm going to say that again. I had to learn the hard way that success does not lead to happiness. It never has, and it never will. See, success can bring short-term joy and comfort, and don't get me wrong. I've had a lot of success, and I absolutely think that you can have some short-term happiness, but definitely more comfort and immediate gratification, or even for long periods of time. But the bottom line is, even setting goals for achieving happiness won't create happiness. See, the thing is my experience has been one that Robert reflects in this ebook where, my early part of my life and part of my career, I was chasing success because I thought having things would make me happy. And what I realized is I had some short-term happiness and excitement, but then I sort of realized that wasn't working, and so I started to just chase success and do things in my life that just made me happy. And feeling like if I just created happiness and chose, to do things that made me happy, I would be happier. And that didn't quite do it as well. I think it's a combination of eventually settling into my unique talents and focusing on my passion and things that helped me to do that. But the thing that Robert really emphasizes in this book that I like is that you can't chase happiness. Happiness is not something you can chase. I've given lots of quotes about that. My favorite quote by Jim Rohn is, success is not to be pursued, it's to be attracted by the person you become. But Robert talks about how to create the right environment, the right activities, the qualities of life that will attract happiness. Because when you do this, and he really makes a great way, he really puts it well in the ebook where he talks about when you create the right environment and activities and qualities of life that will attract happiness, you will be surprised how easily happiness appears in your life. Because happiness doesn't like to be chased. How many of you have realized that by now? I mean, number one, you can't chase success thinking you're going to get happiness, but you also can't chase happiness itself. It's like trying to pick up water as you realize you can't do it. It's hard to do. And so you have to create an environment in a life that will allow you to attract it, and then you'd be surprised how easily it is. Now, our prosperity pillar number 7 says, I choose to be happy, and that's a state of mind and an attitude you can have. But even that can be difficult to do. But creating a life that will attract happiness sometimes can be a simpler path than just choosing happiness or chasing happiness. Remember, there's a really important thought for you to keep in mind, and that is that success, the way the world defines it, and it's the whole concept of this ebook, success, the way the world defines it, is not going to bring you happiness. You know that pleasing others isn't going to bring you happiness. Having nice cars and clothes and travel and things are not going to bring you long-term happiness. And the perfect job isn't going to bring you long-term happiness. Now, you may not agree with that, but go through life and get to a point where you've experienced having all those things, and you're going to realize that it doesn't create long-term happiness. We all know, for example, people that have had everything in the world that the world would consider success. Celebrities, athletes, comedians. You found people that really epitomize the world's definition of success, and yet suffered from depression, suicide, anxiety, and were ultimately unhappy. I know several people that are 8- and 9-figure earners that are not happy, and yet I know some people that do not have any success that are happy. Now, I want to have both, right? But this is because having what you want doesn't always bring you happiness. The Dalai Lama said in his book, he kind of had a way of saying it that made a lot of sense for me, where he said, happiness doesn't come from having what you want, but wanting what you have. And Robert, my partner Robert, does an amazing job in this book of kind of giving his own personal experience and giving some insight and enlightenment into what you can do to create that. This is, the path to true happiness, I believe, includes gratitude and acceptance, because gratitude and acceptance will help you create happiness and attract that. That's something you can put in your life to create that environment that Robert talks about. Now, the difficulty also presents itself when you realize that just reminding yourself every day that you need this also isn't the solution, especially for those of us, like Robert says, that are addicted to success. If you have spent your whole life chasing goals and success, much like I have, it's sometimes easy to just get caught up in it and to forget that those things don't bring you happiness, because we sort of associate the two together. But you have to disconnect the two and realize that they're two completely mutually exclusive items, success and happiness. So how do you start to create true and lasting happiness? How do you create an environment to do that? Well, you can start by reading the ebook that Robert wrote, because I think that's a great way to do it. And Robert does break down some good ideas and thoughts and things and ways that you can focus on your unique talents. But just so you don't feel like I opened up that topic and left you hanging, I have a few ideas that I've implemented in my life that you can use to start to create an environment of success and happiness. So I'll give you a couple of them. Number one, daily rituals. Daily rituals will create habits of success and happiness, and patterns that you can live in your life, like journaling and meditation, if it's prayer or affirmations or workouts. Those kind of things will create an environment of happiness and success in your life. Daily rituals. Also, a gratitude practice, so that you can stay focused on appreciation for what you have, and that therefore you'll get more in your life. And the third suggestion I have is a commitment to build quality relationships, because you have to remind yourself every day that it's more than just about you, especially those of us entrepreneurs and things that are focused on achieving and pursuing and attracting success. Sometimes we get caught up in ourselves and we don't realize that, a lot of your life will be much more happy and a lot more successful if you'll commit to quality relationships with other people. So, it's my hope that you'll not only build a life that will attract and grow happiness for you, but also start to focus your efforts on happiness and not just success. So I appreciate you listening today. That's my message. Do me a favor and share this podcast. And if you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button on the Daily Mastermind so you don't miss any episodes. And I'll plan on talking with you more tomorrow. Once again, my name is George Wright III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind. Have a great day.